Hi everyone, and welcome to today's Drawing Time-Lapse and Studio Sessions episode 34. Today's video is brought to you by Squarespace, which is where I build and host my website and online shop, and I've been using them for years and I absolutely love them. So whether you need a domain, website, online store, make your next move with Squarespace. Start your free trial today at squarespace.com and go to squarespace.com/happydartist to get 10% off your first purchase. Also, I will be listing all of the art supplies used in today's video, along with links to purchase everything in the description below. Okay, so today's drawing is a little different from what I usually do. This year, as you guys know, one of my biggest artist New Year's resolutions is to branch out and try different subject matters and just getting out of my comfort zone. So for this drawing, I actually intended for it to be a concept sketch for an upcoming show where the theme is surrealism. But I just got so engrossed with rendering all the small details, and I had so much fun with it, so I decided to turn it from a concept sketch into a more well-rendered, complete illustration. And usually I don't paint my human subjects very zoomed out, like I don't really encapsulate the entire figure in my pieces. They're more kind of close-up beauty shots. And this year I just really wanted to branch out from that and paint something that's more complete and whole instead of just a close-up of a face, as much as I like painting those things. So this drawing will be actually turned into a painting, and the painting will feature a more interesting background. I'm thinking of making it feel almost like a children's fairy tale or Alice in Wonderland type of vibes, where there's a lot of magical things going on, not just with the subject, but with the world around her. So pretty excited to see how this turns out. And for today's topic of discussion, I wanted to talk about gratitude and being thankful. So I'm going to start this off with a quick story. A lot of you guys might have already heard it. It's a very popular fable and fairy tale. It's been retold and made into many short films and rewritten many, many times. It's called The Fisherman and the Fish, or sometimes it's called The Fisherman and His Wife. So basically the gist of the story is a fisherman lives a very poor and humble life with his wife. They live by the river in a tiny little house, a tiny little cottage, so to speak. And one day when he goes to cast his net into the river, he catches a magical fish who says he will grant him any wish in exchange for his freedom. So the fisherman is really excited and runs home and tells his wife about this. And his wife says, "Oh, you should totally wish for a bigger house because we live in such a tiny rundown cottage. It'd be so nice to live in a nice big house." So the fisherman goes back and tells the fish, "Okay, we've decided for a wish. We want a bigger house." And the fish says, "Your wish is granted." And the fisherman goes back and finds his wife now living comfortably in a large family home. But then the next day, the wife wakes up and she decides she wants more. She says, "I don't want just a bigger house. I want a luxurious mansion complete with servants." So the fisherman goes back to the fish and says, "Oh, you know what? We changed our minds. Would it be possible for us to change our wish into, a giant mansion instead of just a bigger house?" So the fish, though mildly annoyed, grants the fisherman his wish. And this happens for the next few days, where every day the wife wakes up feeling unsatisfied with what she has, and she wants more and more, and she asks for, so instead of a mansion, she asks for a castle, and then after the castle she wants a country, and then she wants to be king or queen, I guess, and then she wants to end up ruling the entire world. So with each new request, the fish gets more and more agitated with her greed. So finally, when she wishes for control over the entire universe, like she basically wants to be God, the fish ends up reverting her back to their initial state, which was living in a poor, tiny cottage, and basically stripping her of everything that she had ever asked for because he was so disgusted by her greed that he felt like she didn't deserve anything. So the moral of the story, obviously, is to not be greedy and instead be grateful for what you have. I've heard the story since I was a little kid, but for some reason recently it popped up in my radar again, and I just thought it was too cute and too poignant not to share, because lately, as I get older, I've kind of lost the sense of, I wouldn't say sense of wonder, but there's something that I've been missing that I had a lot of in childhood, and that was the ability to just look around me and appreciate everything, even the simple things, and be grateful for what I have. As a kid, we grew up pretty poor. We didn't have much. Even going to McDonald's was like a luxury for us. And so the smallest things would make me so happy. Things like going to McDonald's and getting the cheapest $1 hamburger. It would taste like a gourmet meal to me. Or just spending time with my family, going on road trips, even if we stayed at really crappy, cheap motels. Just the fact that I got to experience life with the people I love and spend time with my parents, those things made me so happy. And even drawing, I didn't have the fanciest art supplies. I definitely didn't have any oil paints, but just being able to have a pen and pencil and having access to any paper to doodle on, I would focus so much on the joy of creating instead of lamenting over, wishing I had better art supplies. I remember I actually used my mom's essays, because at the time she was in school, and I would use her printed Xerox paper. I would just flip them over to the side that was blank and draw on those. So, I guess I accidentally recycled without even realizing it. But yeah, overall, I feel like as adults, we just grow up and we become disillusioned with so many things. Maybe it's because we do more and more things, and the more we repeat, the less new and exciting it becomes. So, inherent with just kind of being bored comes with a decline in feeling appreciative. And also, I feel like as I get older, I also get boggled with the stress of everyday life and trying to earn money, trying to pay the bills, trying to do taxes, and do all these adult errands. And I just don't take the time anymore to be grateful for the things that make me happy, be grateful for the people in my life that care about me. And I instead just focus on all of my energy on the feeling of being stressed or wanting to complain. And while I do think it's impossible to always be a positive person and to avoid complaining, like, I am a firm advocate of, just acknowledging when you're frustrated and venting and letting it out instead of bottling it up and pretending to be happy. But I think complaining is almost rooted, at least for me, it's rooted in the same vein as greed, because usually the things I complain about are the things that I wish I had or the things I wish could improve, whether it's personally or in the world. Whenever I'm complaining at the airport about waiting in long lines, I'm just like, they should really renovate this airport and, or hire more staff or make this more efficient. Or whenever I complain about being stressed or overworked, it's mainly because I'm kind of mad at myself. I wish I had better time management. I wish I had more hours in the day. I wish that I was more efficient at getting my work done. So interestingly enough, I feel like my greed, while it's not really tied to material possessions, like I don't really care about driving a nice car or having fancy clothes. I'm not greedy in that aspect, but I have a lot of greed in my expectations out of myself. So if I paint a really good painting and it goes really well, I'll have like that sense of greed. I want to repeat it. I want to replicate it and do it again. And if the painting afterwards isn't as good or isn't as successful, that greed drives me to become frustrated and become self-critical instead of letting me kind of enjoy the gratitude of having done something well, or letting me, give myself a pat on the shoulder. I'm so greedy that I always want to keep chasing after the next goal. I want to keep improving and keep knowing that I'm getting better. And so for me, I don't take the time to appreciate, what I have, how I've gotten here, and appreciate my own hard work, and also appreciate the love and care of like my friends and family and the people in my life that make it so colorful and so meaningful. I get so greedy with my expectations for work and for accomplishments and goals that it's hard for me to look around and be grateful for other things in life that are just as important. Okay, so that's the end of the video. I hope my rambling made sense and maybe helped you adopt a different perspective on things. The original drawing has been sold, but if you're interested in prints and stickers, they're available at happyd-artist.com. And before I leave, I wanted to proudly show off these beautiful entries for my $1 coloring challenge last month. I'm so blown away. If you'd like to join this month, pledge at least $1 at patreon.com/happydartist. And I can't wait to see your entries. And I'll catch you next time. Bye!